Hello, Mike. Thanks very much and welcome to BlueNotes again on this morning of the result. Not a huge surprise, I've got to say, the result this year, but what stood out for you this year in the annual result?
It's a generally very strong result across all facets of the business. I was pleased the way that Australia performed. Actually, New Zealand had an extremely good year. And the growth in Asia was fantastic, and we had a good result from global wealth. So every business was performing pretty well.
Different parts of the result perform differently in the two halves. Is there a real half-on-half impact here?
Traditionally, we've always done better in the first half than the second half. But actually, if you strip out on the foreign exchange adjustments, or on a foreign exchange adjusted basis, actually the second half growth is not too bad, particularly in the retail business.
And can you continue the solid result? I mean, it begs the question, were there weaknesses here that perhaps you can build on in the next result?
Look, we've been continuing to build market share in most sectors. That is good, particularly in the home markets. I think we're seeing the institutional business beginning to change a little bit in Australia, where it has been weak over the last couple of years. Global markets, that depends very much on volatility. And of course, we've had a little bit of that of late. That's calmed down again, but look, I'm pretty optimistic about the future. I mean, I think that we are in a lower growth world, that's the reality. But we have this optionality of growth in Asia. And the Asia business is still going incredibly well.
You touched earlier on how strong New Zealand was, and indeed New Zealand's been strong now for half and half for quite a while. Is that economy starting to roll over?
No, I don't think so. I think it's still in pretty good shape. There's no doubt, the currency is a bit, is a bit heady, and that doesn't help them enormously. But I think the re-election of the key government has been a fantastic boost for business confidence. The fact that they're a business friendly, they understand that getting the economy right is critically important, and they've got a very good track record of doing that. So no, I'm still pretty positive about the business in New Zealand.
And along with New Zealand, you touched on how strong the Asian result was, but there's still doubters out there. There's still people who say, well, why don't you get out of Asia?
I don't really understand. I think you've got to be pretty blind to see, to not see what's happening in Australia and Australia's linkage and dependence on Asia for the future. I think what people don't probably appreciate is how much business comes out of Asia into Australia, and you've got to be there for that to happen. It's also, if I look at the last 5 years' results, we have outperformed all our peer banks in terms of income growth, in terms of profit growth, in terms of return. And so, what's the problem? I don't really get it.
And touching on your targets, are you still holding to that 16% ROE target over the next couple of years, along with the lower cost of income?
Yeah, when you put these targets out there, I think it's always good as an aspiration anyway. Now, since that target was put out there, there has been a fair increase in the amount of capital that we've been required to hold, courtesy of the DSIB requirement. That of course reduces your ROE substantially, but we felt that in any event we should keep it there because it gives us something to aim to, and it's an encouragement to really improve our capital management, which we've been working very, very hard at over the last 5 years.